Hey, what's going on? Lando's in the building. Just want to address the late, great Kevin Samuels in this sorrowful situation. We lost a great man, a great leader that stood for truth, unapologetic truth, regardless of how anyone felt. He said a lot of things that needed to be said, definitely needed to be said, because we're in a society that's teaching women to become more and more narcissistic and delusional and selling women that it's a good thing to be. And when you live in a society with people who are that impressionable to where that type of mentality and behavior is okay, it becomes very dangerous and becomes very corrosive. And we see that every day with the high divorce rates, the declining marriage rates, the declining birth rates. I think that's tied to the whole overturning of Roe versus Wade, because it's like the population is going to dwindle because of what's happening. Not just in the black community, but across the board. And but to circle back to the point of this whole thing, I just noticed that there's a lot of black women and a lot of simp black men celebrating this man's death. They don't know him from a can of paint. They only know him from the online reputation that he got. And nobody really has taken the time. Well, a lot of people is not actually taking the time to pay attention to what he's actually saying. And if he happens to be rude with people, no one's taking the time out to actually see why, because he don't just blast off on people. He never did that. Every person that ever called into his show, he reflected the energy that they gave. So if they called in looking to try to put him in his place, he had their card, and he put it down on the table, and he wasn't playing any of that. But if you called into his show and you genuinely wanted to have a conversation, man or woman, and you was trying to understand where he was coming from, he would try to understand where you coming from. He was that kind of guy, and it's evident. But unfortunately, in the black community, nobody has that kind of patience to really understand when they actually hear truth. Nobody wants to grow. They just want to be told that they're the shit, you know. And one thing I noticed over generations with the black community is black people, we gotta be honest. We kill our own prophets. We destroy our own leaders. Every single time. You think black people liked Martin Luther King when he was alive? You think they liked Malcolm X when he was alive? Every single person that had a solid voice of change to bring us into some sort of light, we all hated them. Shahrazad Ali, God bless her, and hopefully she lives a long, long time. But she spent decades being hated by us. You know what I'm saying? What is up with y'all? Really, what is up with y'all? I mean, I'm not saying that you gotta cry a tear for everybody that passes, but to celebrate one's death is beyond wicked. Especially when they ain't never hurt nobody. Kevin Samuels didn't do nothing to nobody. He just expressed his opinions and his views based on what he has observed all of his life. Unlike just like a lot of black men have. But it sadly it's like when black men try to speak up, the first people that want us dead first is black women. And then the rest of society. Ain't that sad? Black women are the first ones to be the lynch mob of black men. But nah, we ain't ready to have that conversation. Gotta move the goalpost, gotta sidestep. That's just too much to deal with. It's too much to swallow. It's too much to accept. But that's the reality. Look at our culture. I mean, we have a culture where it's seen by black women to be as verbally and as emotionally as abusive as possible. I'm not saying all, but a great many. And these women will be abusive to their husbands, to their sons, to everyone around them, and have the audacity to feel like, because of how they feel, people should just suck up their bullshit and kiss their ass and just endure all the abuse and vitriol they want to put out all around them. And then when somebody actually tells them about themselves, they want to play victim. You know what? I'll take it a step further. There's a school of thought that black women are supposed to be the most disrespected and hated person on the planet. Okay. Let's put that to the test. Once upon a time, there was a man named Nat Turner. His purpose that he sought to do in life was to free black people from bondage. He was hated so much by his oppressors that they turned him into wagon wheel grease. Okay? Now tell me, where in history was a black woman ground down to a fine paste because she was so disrespected and so hated? I'll wait. Throughout history, black men have been mutilated, castrated, discarded, trampled on, and endured, and for some sick reason chose to still try to uplift and defend the very women that hate them. Again, not saying all, but you know what? You understand the point of a generalization. It's to illustrate a point. That's what a generalization is for. And the point is, save yourself, black man. There's never going to be a Wakanda. There's never going to be no unity between black men and black women. And never has been unity between black men and black women. There's always been conflict and competition. Always. And it don't matter how much money you got. Don't matter how much political power you got. It does not matter. The black woman will never align with the black man, ever. And it's just too much evidence. There's countless times where a black man's grave has been spit on, shit on, pissed on. You know what I mean? But no one's going to desecrate a black woman's grave like that. You don't hear about it. No one's going to desecrate any woman's grave like that. Because the female generally is put on a pedestal anyway, despite proven disloyalty. You know what I mean? So I just want to say, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Condolences out to his close friends and family. It is definitely shocking that his death is sudden. I don't know if we'll ever get the real facts behind how he died or whatever. I don't believe the man was in poor health, because it would be contradictory of what he said he was doing. Because if you're, I don't know about you, but if you're a survivor of cancer, why would you live a life that's unhealthy? You know what I mean? Clearly the man, he was an expert in 3 different martial arts. And he ate right, he took care of himself, obviously. He was a man of purpose. He was about his business. Now I don't want to get into conspiracy theory, but all I can say is this was sudden. And it's peculiar because any person, I'll say any person, man or woman, that's ever tried to stood for any kind of truth and was boldly speaking it out loud for millions to hear, for some reason it was always a heart condition of some type that killed him. Patrice O'Neal, George Carlin, let's see who else. Uh, yeah, it's I know a few other names, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. I mean, it's at the tip of my tongue. Um, but yeah, it's like anybody that tried to like wake people up with their level of influence didn't live very long. You know, I mean, there's just something at play out here in this society, in this atmosphere that is speeding the process up to destroy the human soul. And the pattern of how that happens has always been the same, through the woman first. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Just like life can come through a woman, so can death. And a woman has always been that kind of a tool. And we know this because when women get in their feelings, they are rarely remorseful of what follows after. Especially when it's negative emotion. Now, this is not to say that women should be revered when they're scorned. No, quite the opposite. They are to be avoided. I ain't even gonna say this is like MGTOW or red pill stuff. This is just observation of reality, and and just historical fact all throughout human existence. Again, not saying all women. I mean, you know the caliber of people by what they actually do. Okay? That's how you judge people. By what they actually do. Not by what they say, not by what they're fronting on. You look at the fruit that their life bears. Now, Kevin Samuels, he said a lot of stuff, rubbed people the wrong way. Who cares? But here's what he actually did. He actually helped people. These people came forward themselves out of their own mouths and testified to what this man did. You can be an asshole, but if you can produce life in the things that you can do, then you're a righteous man. You know what I'm saying? He's always said it. Put it on the wood. Show your work. That's what this man was doing on a consistent basis. If anything, he was consistent. And I find it very, very telling when people get upset for being called out on their bullshit, are angry enough to where they want someone to die when they know they are wrong. But I guess that's what it is to be human, right? I don't know. I don't know. But this is just my 2 cents about the whole thing. Again, this is Lando. Questions, comments, drop it in the comments section. Like and subscribe. It's going to be rare when I post stuff like this. But I'm pretty sure whatever I'm saying, it's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. At the end of the day, people know better. People know better. They just don't want to do better for various reasons. For various reasons. That's what it is to be human. To be human is to be wicked. To do better than being human is transcending. I'm trying to be better than human. I try every day. And I got fruit for that. You know, I got stuff to show. I got receipts that I try to be better than just human each and every day. Because the things that I do are the hard things. They're the things that challenge me. They're the things that make me wake up in the morning and question if I want to do them. And it's like when you do things in spite of yourself to better yourself, that's when you know you're on the path. But if you're only doing things for yourself, that's an empty existence. If it's just for you, that's an empty existence. Life is about relationships, friendships, family, relationships. Humans were designed to abide within each other. But we don't appreciate this life that we're given until we know we're on the last leg of that life. It's better to try to do better all throughout it, not just when it's convenient. Take time out to appreciate the people around you. Take time out to let them know that they appreciate it. And surround yourself with people who will do the same for you. Because that's important. We need food, air, and water to live. But we also need the edification and the support and the affirmation as well. Because the body cannot survive without the mind. And the two together, those are just a few of the components of the soul. We got to take care of each other. And I know there's some people that might hear this and they're going to hate every word of it. Because that's all they know to do is to hate. That's all that's in them is just hatred and wickedness. And let me tell you, some of the most evil people out there, they have no talent, no ability. They have nothing inside of them, and that's why they hate so much, because that's the only thing that can resonate from them. But I don't know. I mean, this society is foobar. It's past the point to where it's pointless to keep talking about the so-called black community or black society, because it's on a road to destruction. It's on its way out the door. That's where we at. That is really where we at right now. Men are getting to the point to where they're tired of initiating, and women are to the point to where it's like they want to do less than the bare minimum. Now it's like they're expecting to just be seen, not heard, but you still have to know everything that they want. And whatever you can give will never be enough. And it's your fault. And it's building resentment on both sides. So, my simplest advice, if you're a man and you desire a relationship, don't change the goodness that you have because of what's happening on the outside. If anything, hold that tight, close to your chest. You know what I'm saying? It's like don't lose the innocence or whatever purity you have left in your soul because this world is trying to kill it. If you know you're a righteous man, keep doing what you're doing. If you're a woman and you're seeking a man, the most bare minimum thing you can do is cater to that man's desire. And what that means is you You have to meet him where his heart is at. Okay? I'm not talking about, step and fetch and be a slave. No. Get over yourself. Don't even think stupid shit like that. I'm talking about if you see a man, here's a little example. If a man does something like as simple as he enjoys riding a bicycle, ride with him. Because if he sees that you're taking a serious interest in something as simple as that, there's nothing that that man won't do for you. Start small and then build up to the greater things. Start small and build up to the greater things when it comes to building back your family, building back your relationships, building back your friendships. You know what I'm saying? This is just my opinions, but I think they hold water. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you why. It's because I treat people the way I want to be treated. And when I see they treating me bad, I don't keep treating them the way I want to be treated. And I don't retaliate negative either. I just back away because I know where I'm not wanted. That's just how I am. Life is too short to give into the stress of trying to balance the scales myself. I'd rather just keep my side of the street clean and keep it pushing. And if anybody should appreciate what I'm doing, it'll show. It'll show. Because love is not an emotion, it's an action, it's a demonstration of their appreciation and value. And yeah, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. I ain't got nothing else left, so I'm signing off. So this is Lando for Unapologetically Men. And it's another one.